What is up, everybody? We are back with Frieren Beyond Journey's End. We are continuing our journey. We are continuing up north. We are continuing to get Frieren her magic license. We still need to get that one of these days, one of these episodes. But yeah, I have nothing else to say. Enjoy the reaction. Yeah, I was about to say. Huh, what's a photo? And who's the mage? What is the music? Oh, start of your journey. You're finally going in that journey though, Sane. It's gonna be one of those episodes, isn't it? It's gonna be another sad backstory, isn't it? I mean, we know a part of Sane's backstory though. Long live friends, huh? I wonder if we're actually going to be blah 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 blah. I wonder if we're actually going to be meeting Sane's like childhood friend there. Look at Frieren though. No. Yeah, we're staying a week at most. That's cute. They're walking together. They're talking and chatting together.
歴戦の老戦士って感じでかっこいいでしょ。
誰だったかな。
フリーレンだよ。
It's been 84 years. Poor Stark. At least we have an idea of like the lifespan of a dwarf now. Kind of making me at ease just a bit in regards to Eisen, because Eisen sure as hell is not this old.
シュタルク、ついでに稽古つけてもらいな。
Train with him.
ねえ、10年泊まりたいから仕事紹
A
介し
week
て。
at most,
フリ
please.
ーレン様、1週間までですよ。
Okay, fine. Oh, that is rather satisfying to watch and listen of the carrots just like plopping out.
ポルじいさんに友人がいたとはな。あんなに楽しそうに話しているのは。
Wow.
猛録したじいさんだ。
Poor Stark.
昔から村を魔物や魔族から守っても。
Beautiful. Look at this art style, though. We've seen Eisen carry a boulder bigger than that, but I love seeing Frieren just being happy, just conversing with somebody. Yeah, that's very much reminding me of Eisen.
1週間はあっという間だね。
A week flies.
フォルジーは私がヒンメルたちを知る機会をくれたから。
Ah.
昔の話だ。
Oh, he looked like this, like even way back then. Like he's already that old.
妻の愛した村を守っているだけだ。
Admirable and honorable.
人間だった。わしは遠い
Bro,
昔
they
に
just...
交わした約束を。
That is interesting to note, though. A human wife.
滑稽な話だろう。わしはずっと死者との約束を守っている。
Nah, it's not silly, though.
でもきっとその人は
Yeah.
あなたが約束を守ってくれていること
Oh, this music, though.
ならフリーレンの役目とな。僕たちの記憶は彼女が未来に連れて行ってくれる。そうだろ？
別にいいけど。
Fine, I guess. Damn, this is getting me emotional.
じゃあ後でフリーレンに僕が編み出したイケメンポーズ集を見せないとな。
やっぱり覚えるのやめようかな。でもやっぱりイケメンポーズ集は。
And yet she's remembering that exact memory.
わしはもう思い出せない。声も眼差しも。
That's why we don't get to see her face and everything.
ついに魔王を倒しに行くの。平和な時代が訪れるといいな。
Wow.
フォルジー、魔王はもう。
He's gone.
どうした？
Damn, I thought he was actually dead.
人生の最後にお前に会えてよかった。
それ80年前も同じこと言っていたよ。
Man, this was such a ground to earth like moment.
妻の夢を見た。
そう。
お前と昔話をしたおかげかもしれんな。
それじゃ。
Man, that was kind of emotional. Jeez. Why you gotta do that? Why did the show have to do that? Here's a random character, now cry.
人探しだよ。
Oh?
俺の旅の目的覚えているだろ
Yes, yes, yes.
上の色っぽいお姉さんと旅をすること。
The other reason.
確かにそっちもだ。
That's important too.
10年前に旅に出た親友と合流することだ。
Right.
新か、珍しいな。
And it's a magical photo as well.
村に来た魔法使いに撮ってもらったんだ。
Interesting. So we don't know that mage. Unimportant, I guess.
なんて名前なんだ？
戦士ゴリラだ。
Gorilla?
うん。
Yeah, okay.
本名は？
I love how Stark like. Okay.
戦士ゴリラって呼んでたしな。ちなみに俺は僧侶あごひげ。
聞いてね。
No one asked. Who asked?
変なやつだな。
ああ、変なやつなんだ。
He's a weird guy. And that's why he's my friend.
この大峡谷を越えて1週間も歩けば、いよいよ魔法都市オイサーストだね。
Alright, we got a time frame.
10年前にゴリラって名乗る人来なかった？
すげえ質問だな。
ああ、戦士ゴリラ様。
Mr. Gorilla Warrior. Wow.
ゴリラ様は高台に住んでいる頑固ばあさんと仲が良かったようなので。
An old woman!
わしの依頼をいくつかこなしてもらおう。まずは隣町の鍛冶屋のナーゲルに
We got a fetch quest.
まるでお使いだな。
Nah, the errands are gonna keep piling up.
こういうのが面倒な探し物や厄介な。
Yep, that's basically how these side quests go.
Frieren ヒンメルやハイターだったら半日くらいで打ち解けているはずなのに。
Really now?
最後だ。峡谷にある英雄の像を磨くんだ。
Oh, the hero statue.
名前もわからん。忘れられた英雄さ。
Forgotten.
ところであんた、僧侶あごひげだろ？
Oh.
僧侶と戦士。クラフトだ。
Yeah.
村長によると大昔の英雄だって話だ。
Ancient heroes.
戦士ゴリラ。俺は今日からそう名乗る。
ではあなたは僧侶あごひげですね。
He did not. Hiker did not call him that.
ゴリラにも同じことを頼んだが、でも名前のインパクトはバッチリだったよ。
That she's not wrong.
一緒にずっと歴史に名を残すような英雄になるってね。
Wow, even though Sane is not an adventurer or a warrior at the time, Gorilla still talked about him as if he is one. Wow, that's a true friend right there. But
北側諸国中部の交易都市だ。
オイサーストとは反対方向だね。
ああ。
Oh no, don't tell me they're gonna separate.
どうしたもんかね。
No, I'm not alright. You why did you end the episode there? Another fantastic episode of Frieren, the first half especially. That first half was incredible. It was special in my opinion. That kind of it. That was like, ooh, ringing in all of the emotions, and I was like, don't do anything bad to Vol. Luckily he didn't die. Like I was kind of worried that he would, but no. But yeah, going back to what to the specific moment of Vol dreaming, or I guess envisioning his lover, his wife, right? Because during that moment it seemed like when I first saw it, it was the animation and the visuals were kind of jarring right at first, because I would say that it's like the feeling of when you're watching something interpolated into like 60 frames, because like it is moving super fast and very smoothly, I would say. But I think that's a really smart decision on their end, because it's trying to evoke this sense of this isn't quote unquote real. This memory is in a way not perfect. It's very dreamy. It's not everything is there. It's not all pieced together, right? Because that is exactly what is happening here. Vol doesn't remember much about his wife anymore. He doesn't remember what she looks like, her voice, like none of that, right? He only remembers that he has a wife, and that's it. He doesn't remember what she looks like and all. And to me, one, that's sad, but at the same time, in the context of like the scenes in which they are showing it, it's really well directed and really well done. And speaking of Vol himself, I really do love the scenes between Frieren and Vol in the first half of this episode. There's this sense of not only friendliness in between them, because obviously they're friends, right? But it's also this heartwarming, like, reunion, because it is. And it's just nice to see Frieren and Vol kind of like finally talk about things that they couldn't talk to other people, because those people may not really fully understand what they're talking about, right? Because none of them really lived during that time. So it's really just nice to see Vol finally having a person to talk to, and Frieren especially Frieren, because the thing that we need to remember is that Frieren, for years and years and years now, she is losing the people that she has experienced with the most, right? I mean, we got the obvious, Himmel, Heiter's gone. Aizen probably on his way, but I guess not long, because Vol here is kind of a good indicator on what an old dwarf would look like. Aizen is old, but not this old, So I'm kind of, I'm happy, or at least I'm more relieved that Aizen's probably gonna live through this, because there is a thought of like, what if Aizen dies during this 10-year journey to the Northern Realms, to the land of the dead, and then suddenly we get to see him in the land of the dead. I'm like, oh no, but this kind of puts me at ease just a bit, But yeah, I love the entire moment between Frieren and Vol. There is also that sense of sadness when Vol was talking to Frieren, talking about like, oh, you're finally gonna be defeating the Demon King, huh? And I'm like, oh no. Yeah, he is in that age, he is in that time where he is slowly losing memory. He's slowly, starting to forget. It happens. It's natural, and it's almost always painful to see, especially loved ones that you may have special memory with, and those special memories are forgotten by those people. Like you can no longer share this memory anymore. And that's kind of how I feel in regards to Vol specifically, because he has a lot of memories that are gone now. He can't share that experience anymore, right? Even in regards to like his wife, but now more so major world events like the Demon King being defeated, and Frieren herself, just the realization of like, oh, yeah. And yet she still puts on a happy face, right? She still goes, yeah, don't worry about it, And that's really sweet. That's really sweet. I mean, the entire episode itself is also centered around, again, the theme and the idea of immortalization, or in this case, remembrance. And I think the two stories in this episode kind of demonstrates that beautifully again. And this is a theme that has been pretty common and has been brought up with multiple times already throughout this entire show, right? Like, we've seen many examples of this, but for this episode specifically, I do love how we start with someone who in this case is still remembered by a lot of people, especially in the village, right? Like he is still a living legend, right? But it's also how the village kind of treats him as this this guardian, this guardian angel, if you will, right? This warrior who has been protecting the village for over a century, you know, and it's a beautiful and a empowering endeavor from him, and it's very inspiring, right? Because because obviously you are doing this for something that you love, but it's also you are being rewarded, right? And the reward is that people will remember you, right? You will live on. That is the reward, right? The greatest reward in life, in my opinion, is the fact that you will live on after you die, right? Through many different means. And seeing Vol just kind of being that, and just knowing and getting to know like why he does it is, again, like I said, it's beautiful. Same thing can be said in regards to like the two characters later on in the second half of the story. Of course, I'm talking about Kraf and another character who we don't know their names anymore. And that's the part that I'm like, damn, they don't remember him. We know Kraft because we met him. But the people around here, they don't know who he is. They don't know his name. And it's kind of interesting how they said it, right? A priest and a warrior. We know Kraft as a monk. Now, are they referring this as a warrior monk, or are we talking about how Kraft used to be a warrior, but then he becomes a monk who's still kind of a warrior, like a warrior monk? I don't know. Either way, interesting, cool that we see Kraft again, which kind of makes it a lot more interesting in how our interaction with Kraft in the very, in that specific episode, where Kraft did mention or ask Frieren, I believe. I believe Kraft was the one who asked Frieren and not the other way around. But he asked like, "You don't know me, do you, Frieren?" But like he's okay with that. Like he accepts that. The fact that our party don't know Kraft is still like, okay, that's fair enough. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna spread the word of our goddess. But I'm gonna move on. And I think that's another thing to think about, because if Kraft was a warrior and Kraft is an elf, and assuming that this priest right here that we are seeing in the statue is a human and the priest dies, I think it makes complete total sense that Kraft would be following along the footsteps of the one who used to be his friend moving forward. I'm also wondering and curious whether or not the book that the priest is holding in the statue is the same book that Kraft possesses in regards to like, teachings of the goddess and such. I do wonder that, because I feel like that can be a possibility, especially, knowing who Kraft is now and who Kraft used to be. Because even here, right, he's not wearing the same clothing, like this isn't the same clothing that he wore when we saw him. Completely different. This is the attire of a warrior, if you will, right? Showing his muscles and all. Not really priest-like. So, either way, fascinated by that. Fascinated. Now I want to meet Kraft again, and I want him to, spill the beans. tell us about your sad backstory so I can cry about it. But yeah, fascinating stuff. You know, like this is making me almost certain that we are going to be meeting Croft sometime in the future. Maybe this season, maybe in the next season, if they are going to be making a second season of Frieren. I hope so. It's been great. But yeah, now by the end of this episode, we are kind of in a dilemma, especially for our character Sane, because he has a choice. We are in a crossroad, literally, and you know, talking about like where they are right now, because they were about to cross the bridge, and then Sane says, "Hey, can we rest in the village for a bit, because this is kind of like a cross path, right?" We are in the intersection right now. Sane has a choice on whether or not he continues on with our party of adventurers, or to go the opposite direction to go find his childhood friend. This is a problem. It's a problem because we are obviously trying to save as much time as possible. Fern obviously don't want to spend way too long trying to reach to the north. And we are already on a detour right now because we need to, you know, get that magic license, right? So we are already like, we don't know how long that's going to take, but that's definitely going to take, you know, that is already taking a couple of our time from our journey to the north, right? So that's already like time sacrificed. Are they willing to sacrifice more time? Are they willing to part ways? Are they willing to go with Sane? Is Sane going to say no to finding his childhood friend and continue on with Frieren and the gang? Here is what I think is going to happen. I feel like the next episode we're going to have a conversation between all of them in regards to where they should go. And ultimately, the conversation, I think, will lead to Sane actually leaving the party and continuing his search for his brother. And then the rest of the party can continue onwards to the city and get Frieren her magic license. And during that time, they can kind of rendezvous. You know what I mean? Like, they can rendezvous later on in one point. Like, Sane can find his childhood friend, and then afterwards, if he ends up finding his childhood friend, he can then join back up with Frieren and the gang if he chooses to, or I don't think he will. I think Sane is actually going to keep going along with his childhood friend, continuing on this legend, this not legend, this heroic historic adventure of the priest and the warrior, right? Because that's kind of like what they're setting up. There is an old legend, Kraf and another person. The two of them said, no, we don't want to be forgotten. We want to be remembered. We're going to be just like them. But would you look at that? One of them is a warrior and one of them is a priest. I think the next episode is going to be the last time we're going to be meeting Sane. At least for the time being. Like, I feel like Sane is going to be with his childhood friend. Because if it's not, then why did we spend the entire episode or the second half of the episode just, you know, building this up, right? Because it is a theme of the second half of the episode, and I feel like they're going to be continuing on that theme. Sane is going to be continuing on that theme. Yeah. I feel like that's going to be what's going to happen. I'll be surprised if it's not, though, because it's like they're setting it up. They're setting it up, and it's all there. Like the cards are all there. So I guess we'll see what happens later on in the next episode. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you all next time for the next episode of Frieren. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.